2 more minutes. Hi everyone. I hope you all are doing fantastic. Happy to have you all here amidst of your long weekend plans, adjusting yourself to climatic variations, which is what even we're experiencing in Bangalore these days. And now you are in our webinar today, and I'm assuring you people you'll have a fantastic time for the next 1 hour. Please fine-tune yourself to have a fun-filled learning for the next 1 hour. Before that, let me give a quick introduction about myself. This is Vasant from Cloud Odyssey. And as per our commitment from Cloud Odyssey, we are doing webinars on the latest technologies, especially in the Salesforce ecosystem and the MuleSoft. We are coming up with webinars on Commerce Cloud, MuleSoft, platform events as integration. And today we came up with our next webinar, that too on the emerging cloud, which is none other than this Salesforce Education Cloud. So to get into that, to give us a good glimpse about what is this education cloud, what are the entities involved in it, why Salesforce come up with this education cloud core to education system, we are having an architect to give us a good glimpse about the entities involved in it. So without any further ado, let me introduce you, our architect to you people, which is none other than Raghuprasad Halakere, a seasoned architect, come practice lead at Cloud Odyssey. Hi Raghu.
Hey Vasant.
How are you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much.
All right.
So, Raghu, before jumping into our webinar,
Okay.
why don't we know more about yourself?
Absolutely. It's a great idea. And then it's my pleasure to introduce myself. As Vasant was mentioning about me, I'm a technical architect, and also I lead a practice at Cloud Odyssey Solutions at IT Solutions Private Limited. So my journey is more than 13 years into Salesforce technology. I have traveled through the ladder right from trainee to Salesforce developer, tech lead, associate tech arc, right? And then I'm here at Cloud Odyssey as leading a practice itself now, right? So with that said, my journey of 13 years has seen various domains, various problem statements, various clients, right? And then various expectations. So I've seen Salesforce growing from nowhere to now the leader in the market. Yeah.
And people, now you understood who we are having today. Who is the best person other than Raghu can give us a good glimpse about this specific education cloud. So Raghu, we'll start with this. Even I have this question. We are having a sales cloud as well. People are using already education universities, what are the colleges, they are already using Salesforce. Now what is the reason for Salesforce bringing this education which is core to the system? What is the reason behind that?
Yeah. So before answering that, I would have to take a step back to understand more about where Salesforce is, heading towards, right?
Sure.
So if you look at, the announcements made by Salesforce prior to 2 years, right? Nowhere the industry cloud was into picture, right?
Correct.
So, for example, if you look at Salesforce offerings, it was limited to sales service, marketing cloud, experience cloud, and then combination of it. So, if you need anything else, you're supposed to do customization to bring out the a specific need to suit your business,
Correct.
right? So the trend is now in such a way that now Salesforce is focusing towards industries. So when I say industry, education sector is one industry, right? Automotive is one industry. A CG cloud, consumer goods, right? And there are many more. If you name it any cloud, in fact, if we have net zero cloud, right? So we have non-profit cloud as well. So if you look at the names of the clouds itself, it is indicating towards a particular industry. So what does it mean technically? Technically, it means Salesforce is coming up with set of objects, set of functionalities, features, which are tailor made to cater the needs of a particular industry, right? So that is where, if Salesforce is coming up with education cloud, you must be already guessing it now. So it is already packed with features, objects, and then it is so vibrant. You don't have choice other than adopting it.
So, what are the pain points of an education ecosystem? Is Salesforce Education Cloud is touching that and trying to resolve it at the best itself from the platform end?
Yeah, the very reason why Salesforce has introduced education cloud is to kind of curtail the problems and then give the solutions to the needs of the education sector, right? So if you look at the education process, for example, you and I, or anybody for that matter in this forum also, right? Everybody have done our degrees, right? We know how did we do our enrollment process, application management, and then technology was never a piece for us, right? So, and then information was so much scattered and then very much siloed, where we never had a chance to put it in one place, or if you at all you want to seek information, it was a hard way to get it, right? For, exactly. So yeah,
Having it in the application enrollment and getting the seat. Yes.
standing up in the queues and then
Yes.
kind of getting somebody's pen to fill it, etc., and then you make so many typos and then whatnot, right?
Exactly.
So to eradicate all those manual things, that is where Salesforce is digitizing the education sector itself with its offering called Education Cloud, and then it is open to so many integration points as well. So it
Okay.
makes your enrollment process right from filling an application till you pass out from the university or education institution, and still get connected, be connected with your university in terms of alumni engagement.
Predominantly working, right? The
Right?
alumni sector.
Yeah.
Even Education Cloud is handling that segment as well.
Absolutely. So that is where we call it's full fledged solution now. So it has grown from a tadpole to a mature adult, I would say, right?
Awesome.
Where it has touched all the points. It is still growing. Again, growth is never ending.
Agreed. So Raghu, why don't you explain us the personas involved in it? Like what is the different, like a student we have, faculty we have, like how education system is handling it? Can you give us a glimpse about that?
Absolutely. So what I'll do, while maybe I'll introduce some of the personas. Also, I'll walk you through a use case diagram. Does
Diagram?
that sound like a all right? Let me dive in then. So, just a moment. I'll be sharing my screen.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Hope my screen is visible to everybody.
Yes.
Okay. So in this particular slide, you're able to see three personas, right? So one is David, one is George, one is Daisy. So we are talking about a person who is a student, right? In this case, David, and then how David will traverse through his journey from being an applicant till he becomes a alumni, right? So I have tried my best to put everything in one single diagram. I am also curious to show you, as curious you are to see it, right? uh, so and then how the institution admin or anybody for that matter, so who are all those personas who will be interacting with David. So we will see that in the diagram.
Sure, sure. I'm super curious on.
Should I start now?
Please.
All right, okay. So here we go. Let me show again. Let me see if you're able to see my screen. Okay. So with that said, let me give you a brief introduction about this diagram itself. It is kind of overwhelming at this point in time now. Looking at so many arrows, so many boxes, right? I'll make it easy for you guys. So if you look at the left part, right? So the you'll be seeing the university website. One second. So give me a moment. I'll be sharing this again. I guess it was not shared.
Sure. Even between that, even I'm so curious to know about, even I remember the days where I fill the forms of an applicant, submitting it to admission team. They will scrutinize their stuff. And after that, the counselor will provide us that payment details and all. What is the curriculum? I mean, the in that particular department. Even in my engineering days, I remember. So I'm super curious to see how the portal will gonna work.
Okay.
Okay.
So is it good
Yes.
now?
Yes, yes. I can see the screen.
Absolutely. Sorry for that.
Colorful screen I can see actually.
Yeah, yeah. It is not just colorful. It's complex again. I want to kind of break it down into smaller pieces so that you follow my particular diagram. Okay. So the diagram contains numerous containers, right? So let me tell what are those containers first, right? So you can see here the university website, and then you can see the Salesforce Education Cloud, right? And also you can see here the applicant portal, right? And also you can see student portal, right? And then also you can see alumni portal, right?
Yes.
So all these touch points are well connected with Salesforce Education Cloud, right? And also you will see the small actors here in the pink color. Student is one persona, right? And then there are some personas like admission team, counselor or management, and then HOD, staff, faculty. So we can bring in many more. It is for the purpose of explanation, I am limiting it to four personas, right? And then I want to explain you, right? So let me start from the beginning. Imagine yourself, where you are hitting a website link, and then immediately you're asked to fill an application, right? So again, in the legacy system where when the systems are not connected, generally we'll be filling the form. That form will go to the website admin. They will take a download of that, or if they have a legacy system, they will connect it to it. But the problem is information is not in one place, right?
Exactly.
So that is where the importance of education cloud is very much prominent, where any point of a channel for information which is coming in or which is going out which is very much well captured in Salesforce, so that we can do some amazing analytics, right? And then show amazing data, amazing insights and all. Let me hold myself. I don't want to elaborate to that level now. Let me come back to the diagram. Right
Sure, sure.
now, a student is filling an online application, right? So the online application, once he fills, generally some applications require a payment to be made, some applications doesn't need. But again, most of the applications do require a payment to be made, right? So that is where you can see, you can have a API integration here with any of the gateways. There's so many, right? Once those minimum details are given, payment is made, right? So that is where the first touch point, I would say, right? First touch point, as in the application is coming into Salesforce Education Cloud, right? What does it mean? It means an applicant record is created in Salesforce, right? And then immediately the the logic will run in such a way that the the student who has applied for a university for a particular course, the login credentials are generated immediately. An email with those details will be sent, right? You hit the submit button, and then you get the login credentials. It
Got it.
means,
I have a question here. That's like we are going up with from website to the education cloud, right?
yes.
So do we have any such applicant portal here where they could fill the application, or directly is it in the website itself?
Yeah, so website is just an entry point for you, right? It is about filling a form, showing your interest, right? It is as good as in your legacy sales cloud. Not, I should not use the word legacy. It is still existing. You will call it as a prospect, lead, opportunity, whatever, right? So in the education cloud, it's an applicant. It's a kind of prospect itself, right?
Okay.
Until he becomes a student, or until the student you can consider as an opportunity, which is closed one, right? So till then you can consider him as a prospect or lead, right? So now the student who is filling a form on the website is still a lead, right? So he has filled a form, though he has paid application fees, but there has to be so much of information, gathering and all should be done, so that the university knows whether this is the right guy to be admitted to my university or not, right? So that is the process we are entering now. So now if I just take a 2 minutes back, I told you that in an email you will get credentials. The credentials are for the applicant portal. Okay, so that is where
I got it.
now the student will get into the applicant portal with the credentials he has received. So now his duty starts. So he has to fill, for example, a lot of information. If you've seen the diagram, personal information, contact information, family, education background, or so again, some many of the universities have their own norms, what information they want to collect from a particular applicant, right? It depends. So everything can be customized, right? This is a just touch point. Now, as per the needs for a particular university, we can tailor made it. Okay, so once he does that, and then either he can submit, or a student like me, applicant like me, will be having so many questions, right? So
Yeah.
I'll be literally, I want a person to tell me, coming to me, coming and meeting me, or scheduling a online meeting, whatever it takes, right? If my questions are not answered, I'll not leave. For a guy like me, they have to definitely kind of give utmost attention, right? For a guy like me, they have given option in the applicant portal, where I can seek an appointment from the counselor or whoever is in the backend.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
So
So
that means before even joining the all our queries, we can have a call with them.
exactly,
There will be a team to acknowledge that.
yes.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so it means so I'll be able to kind of book for an appointment with the admission team, right? Whichever team is handling that. So some call it as admission team, some call it as registrar team. There's so many names to it, but there's a team to handle this process, right?
Correct.
And then their calendar will be open for the applicant portal. Okay, and then that is where the student will look for the calendar slots, and then book for an appointment. And then immediately the invite will go to each person, right? The person who is handling in the backend, their calendar, and also the calendar invite come to the student as well, right? So again, this information will be in the applicant portal. Whenever he wants to come back and see, it will be there for him. Okay, so you must be wondering now why there is something called scheduler. Was it flashing for you? That is,
Yes, yes, of course it is.
yeah. The reason I used a different color for that, I wanted somebody to question this.
But I was a bit threatened because of that.
All right. Okay, that's a
College,
wrong color choice.
college schedule. No, no, no. The word itself schedule, right? The classes and all.
Oh,
I was not that much. Okay.
understood. Understood.
Yes, Raghu.
Okay. So the scheduler is one of those, I would say, game-changing features. Uh, for every industry cloud now, Salesforce is having this scheduler. So that the appointment, booking system is made easy, right? So you need not, kind of fill a form, wait for the resolution, and then you don't have anything to talk about. It's always a monotonous of way of, request and reply, email or whatever, right? So scheduler has given you uh, one such mechanism where you can book meeting appointment, and then you come to the online meeting, or even you want to have offline, it's up to you, right? So you go offline or online, you can meet people, you can take a resolution there. At least one window is there for you now to book an appointment, right? So scheduler piece is very interesting add-on feature on education cloud, right? For that matter, it is now available for all industry clouds. Okay, so that is where he has to seek an appointment. That is one part of it. Apart from that, many of the universities will have their own written examinations, right?
Correct.
Some may ask, some may not ask. Some may ask to fill all the details, upload mark sheets, your background information and whatnot, right? Whatever statutory documents are there, they would be asking, right? So then when you write a test and then upload documents, you never know what is the result of that, right? So you can any time point in time, since you have credentials for this applicant portal, right? You can definitely log in any point in time, and then track the status, right? Track the status of your application.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is one, and again, ask queries, as in you can have this web2 case and whatnot. So you just fill a form and then put whatever queries you have. The case will be going through its own cycle of traversing, and then resolution will be made to you, right?
Perfect. Got it.
So with that said, now the moment you submit, right? The moment you submit, that is where the information goes to the admission team, right? So until the admission team verifies, reviews, and engages, right, you will never know what is exactly the result of that, right? So now let's say the decision is taken by the admission team, right? Approved, as in, so everything is fine. The person has cleared a test, if it was a test, right? Or if the proper the criteria, demarcation and all, cutoff percentages and all, everything, if he's covering everything, that is where he will be approved, right? So it doesn't
Okay.
mean that there's nothing for any other person, any other persona, right? So that is where one email will go to him that your application is reviewed. Okay, then what next, right? That is the obvious question. So what next is something like now the admission, the the first layer of admission team would do that, all the verification, everything, and then there has to be one more layer of you know um
Correct.
admission team,
Multiple
or
people work on the
management,
same application.
exactly, or management team,
BGC checking, everything they
exactly.
do check
So
it.
they will come to the part here where they will take a decision as well as initiate the fee payment. Until you make a fee payment, you're not a student yet. Right. So that is where these counselors will take a decision and then initiate a payment. So if you see here, the decision is made, payment initiation is done, and then payment link will be sent to the student, right? And then student will make the payment he can make in the applicant portal itself. If you see my diagram, if it is still in the scope of this particular box,
Yes, yes.
right? It is
Got it.
still in the scope of applicant portal, right?
Yeah.
So that is where, and again, it can be integrated with any the payment gateways, and then he can do the payment. Once the payment is done, right, that is the starting point for a most integral part of the education cloud, which is student record, right? So that is the core of the education cloud industry itself, because everything is attached to that. If you see my diagram now, that is where the accumulation of or the journey of student 360 starts exactly at that point in time, right? So the
Exactly.
moment you create a student record, you will not only get to know what career plan, what program he has enrolled, what courses he has been applying for, which academic year, right? And then which batch, and so many things they can collect, right? And then ultimately they have to be assigned to a particular course, right? So that is taken care automatically in this particular section.
Perfect.
Okay. So and then now let us talk about the education cloud activity. So now the point of action is done from the student from the applicant portal, right? Now he has paid the payment, student record is created. Two things will happen here, two important things. One is the building of a particular student and making it as 360, exactly starts from there. And then there has to be a faculty attached to a particular course. And then if you talk about a student, if you talk about a faculty, there has to be a course, right? So and then these are connected, right? So when these are connected, and then that is where the multi relationships and all, if you get into the data modeling, you understand better, right? So those all things will be mapped, even for that matter, semesters, classes, attendance, exams, and whatnot, right? So if you go to the one student record, you'll be able to see entire journey of a particular student, right? So you may not see at the beginning itself, because starting of the semester, as days progress, as the records for all of these objects, academics, scores, career plans, care plans, sports attendance, mark sheets, and whatnot, right? And then there can be a number of things can customize also here, right? So apart from the objects given by education cloud, so if you talk about university, right, university is not just about the student and its objects. It can be a the placement, the hostel, the transport, examination, right, and his well-being and whatnot, right? And it can go to any extent, extracurricular activities, right?
In fact, I remember this instance, like where even our HOD, when he want to check a particular student progress, he used to check like multiple files, like what is his person has done in the semester first year, what is his progress, what is the CGPA he got, everything, because they used to handle the manually, even on an Excel. So now you're saying under this student 360, the 4 years of that student can be in a single place. Oh, yeah, students will be caught in this case.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So that's the beauty of digitization, where your so many things could be cut down, but good and bad things. Okay.
Mostly good.
All right. So with that said, yeah. So it is not limited to only the objects given. So we can customize to any extent possible. Okay.
Perfect.
And then this is the entry point for student as well now. So now student is a integral part. Now student has to be given a portal now. So the applicant portal is one portal where your entry point to fill the application, make a payment, and then that is done. But you're not no more applicant now. You are already student because you made the payment and then you are enrolled for a particular course. Now you are a student. For student, we have to be having a particular portal for a particular student, right? And that is where our student portal comes into picture. And that is where the student will get the login. The moment student record is created, right? Two section of activities I was talking about. One is about building of the 360 student 360 in terms of assigning to course everything, faculty, that is one part of it. The other part of
Yes.
it is he should be having his own weave, right? So that is where he'll be given the credentials for student portal. So the obvious question is, what would he do with that,
Yes.
right? So if you've seen this diagram now, so academics, active semesters, completed semesters, and what exactly his attendance is, right? And it again, the word attendance, brings up again so many things, right? So I guess you must be having a question, how do they really want to take attendance?
Correct. Because there are multiple ways to capture attendance these days. Even biometric systems are also there
Exactly.
now.
Yeah. So not only that, so any punching systems, any no
Yes.
biometric systems, or even manually also.
Correct.
Manually is the last resort, right? So
Correct.
if you have some mechanisms to capture attendance, that can be synced with Salesforce,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
So that can be, again, that's a integration, without which it is not possible. So that system has to be integrated with Salesforce, where I identify student with this particular student ID, and also the moment I get a student ID, I can pull in every information about student, right? And then I'll get to know, okay, so this class was going on at this particular time in this particular room, right? And then I'll tell, okay, he has been attending the class. There's
Correct.
one way of doing it, right?
Yeah.
The other way of doing it is, yeah, so the full final authority will be given to the faculty itself. You can go and mark the attendance one by one. That's again one of those manual processes, yeah, which they can do it right then and there, or with integration also they can be doing it very much effectively.
Sure. This is about a student attending classes
Yeah.
from, in person. But as we seen, because of this COVID-19, students spent around 2 years of their time in online sessions, and they attended sessions from Teams, Zoom, WebEx, whatnot, all the streaming platforms. How could we capture attendance for those sessions?
So, see, if you look at any online streaming platforms, including Teams or Zoom and whatnot, right? So every online platform streaming will be having attendance as some component. It will automatically mark your attendance the moment you log in. The moment
Correct.
you enter into the video room, online class, your attendance will be marked. That details can be captured via API integration. For example, let's say Zoom is integrated with your Salesforce, or let's say Teams, right? So the moment the class is done, the details can be captured, and then we can upload the attendance against particular student, right? So either ways, online, offline, or biometric system, all things can be integrated to the Salesforce.
In fact, why I asked this question was, even my nephew used to be there. What he was a bit naughty fellow, so he used to join online sessions.
Okay.
Within 20 minutes, he used to come back,
Okay.
and attendance used to be captured in that 5 minutes itself.
Okay.
So he got attendance and he jumped out of the class. So yeah, it's a serious problem at the COVID time for most of the schools.
And
So can we handle this situation as well?
see, there is definitely a loophole there where if you're looking at a student entering the room and then exiting out, if the attendance is marked, maybe I would say the online streaming platforms would amend that, right?
Mhm.
They should consider a point where when do we get attendance,
Correct.
right?
That
Or
time.
some a particular time you will get. See, anyways, there are so many things where you can play around, right? So there is no limit to it. But the best possible use case is, yeah, they can do some checks and balances to get the attendance done, and then ultimately the information passing is what Salesforce would be looking at, right?
Yeah.
So that we have a correct set of data in Salesforce to map to a particular student against the attendance.
Okay. Perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
So to move further, student portal is not limited to again academics or attendance, right? There are many more things. For example, that will be your one-stop solution, right? For entire journey of 4, 6, or 2 years, UG, PG, and whatnot, right? So whatever you need, you just need to open the student portal. That should be the way it should be implemented, right? And then again, if you ask me, do they need to really come to desktop always?
Yes.
Right. So
Most
now
important
people
question.
are mobile no more
Not
friendly. They're addictive.
correct. Mobile addictive.
Right. Right from a kid, they are addicted to mobiles now, right? So everything runs around mobiles. So again, Experience Cloud. If you want to have Experience Cloud on the mobile, there's something called Mobile Publisher, right? So which has to be add-on feature again when it is bought. So it will give you a way to use the mobile application in your iOS or Android. All right. So that is where they can download the application, and then the same credentials they can use. They can use on the desktop. They can use on the mobile. So the rendering will be a little different because obviously in the mobile we'll be having a stacked,
Yes.
the bread crumb versions and all, right? And then in the normal portal, the way we design it matters.
Got it. And these days, mobile applications are building on Flutter, right? How about the compatibility? Like Flutter mobile applications, are they compatible with this experience load and especially with this education?
So the Flutter piece is one more dimension to it. For example, if any education cloud doesn't want to go with the mobile publisher, right? So, and again, it comes with a time and effort and the cost, right? So where you have to customize your Experience Cloud, and then make sure you are building a Flutter framework for that, right? And then make it a package, and then get the iOS gate open for it. That is one more big task. And then get the Android gate open for it, right? So that it is as good as you're building a mobile application, entirely on its own, so without the support of Salesforce. It is just that you're
Correct.
building a Flutter mobile application and then connecting it to Salesforce. That's how it is, right? If you go the other way around, if you go with the Salesforce version of mobile publisher, right? So that is where Salesforce will give you automatically. It is just that you need to go and download the mobile application which is related to Experience Cloud, and then use the Experience Cloud license. I mean, the credentials.
Perfect. Makes job a better easy, right?
Yeah, it is again numerous ways to implement it. So all in all, you will get a mobile.
Correct.
You will get a mobile application so that student can log in and then see his student portal, his or her student portal, very seamlessly.
Perfect. And Raghu, you described about us about the student 360 and even the applicant role.
Yeah.
About from the university stand, suppose if a vice chancellor or the headmaster, the main point for them is there will be multiple sections for each class. Suppose engineering first year, computer science department. Under that, there will be 8 sections. So how to handle this individual sections? There has to be a different faculty assigned to each from the cycle, and the periods are different, but the same curriculum is running for all of them. Is Education Cloud holding that, handling that properly?
Absolutely. So see, Education Cloud comes with the numerous objects, and then data model is so efficient, I would say, where though we concentrate more on student object, right? There are so many supporting objects as well as the backbone, I would say. The course itself is one of those backbone objects.
Okay.
Core affiliations, course affiliations, and then student. There's so many junction objects there, which play amazing role to render the right information very seamlessly.
Okay, so we can segregate that to the last leaf
Yes,
easily.
absolutely. So
Oh,
no second thought about it.
nice to know that.
All right. So with that said, assuming that this is a very good student and he has enrolled for computer science, let's say, which is my domain. That's why I'm taking that. Right. So this guy has done amazing job. Right. Maybe he's in the 7th, 8th semester, let's say. Right. So now if you notice me, I have something placed like placement, hostel, transport. So the question would be for you now: are these part of Education Cloud?
Correct.
Answer is no. But
Oh,
these are something very specific to the universities, right? So never know. This might come to the gambit of Salesforce Education Cloud, or even if it is not there, it is not a big deal, right? So we can customize and build on top of Education Cloud to bring in all these parameters, all these modules, I would say, and then connect it with student record, right? So just to mention about that, I have put these particular tiles here.
okay, because individual thing is a different
Model itself, yes,
transport,
absolutely.
the hostel, I'm seeing it over there, and sports and extracurriculars.
Yeah. So see, it depends. If you have some already running applications, if you want to connect it to Salesforce, that is one way of looking at it, right? Or if you want to build, completely into Salesforce, so that data access would be easy at one point, right? A one-stop solution, what we call, right? So that is where it takes prominence.
Got it. Got it.
Right? So let's say he gets placement, right? And then he is a very good guy, and then he got placed to a company like Cloud Odyssey, right?
Wow.
And then he's passed out,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
So do you mean his journey is ending? His journey is ending for sure as a student for the university, but it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that he should be out of touch.
Correct.
So that is where we call he's a passed out person. But again, the moment he's passed out, we can have mechanism to enroll him for one more portal, right? Called as Alumni portal, right? So even now, I was just remembering, I was recalling my alumni engagement with my college, where my particular placement officer was very close to me, and he called me that no, we are doing so much of activities. Why don't you come and give a session, or bring your old friends, we'll have a get together. so and so. But again, it's always a phone call, journey,
And
right?
people really face hard time to get the student data and connect with them.
So and he
Yes,
was
yes.
mentioning one of the hard points for him that he doesn't have data. That's unfortunate, right? So he was asking me that yeah, if you have so and so person's number, pass it on to me, or if you have your network still on, pass on to those contacts, etc. Right? It's a genuine problem where
Correct.
we need to address.
Yes.
Imagine, if we had alumni portal like this, the moment you are passed out, automatically your mailbox shows that you are alumni now, right?
Pass from student to alumni.
Yeah, then immediate access will be given to your alumni. Any event is happening, at the alumni level, you'll be notified,
Perfect.
right? All you need to do is either you want to log into alumni portal with the credentials. That is where I'm marking it as the passed out, and then the details will be passed to you, right? And then those details you can use and then log in and then whatnot. So give it back, right? If you want to donate for your organization, where you have come from or educated yourself, right? And then if you want to give back in terms of giving the right source of information, mentoring, whatnot. So there's so many things. Nowadays alumni engagement is one such vibrant in across universities across the globe, right? So that is where people are literally getting benefited. So one way of looking at placement and all, those days was only through placement cells, right? So now, since alumni, the engagement has become so strong, people are helping their juniors, right? With the love and affection of their college, they will do it for sure, right? But the point we're missing here is we're not connecting them. The way to connect is this. That is where Education Cloud brings you the entry point for alumni portal,
Okay.
right? So if you look at the journey of this diagram, right? So we talked about right from students application till he becomes a alumni, right? The entire journey we covered, right? So again, it is not as easy. Yeah, it is complex diagram, right? But again, there's so many components involved in that. You have to be literally digging deep in terms of the data model, understand how it happens and all, and then also see the touch points, integration touch points. How do we make one source of truth, right? That's where Education Cloud will be a super shining a feature for any university for that matter.
Perfect. It is covering the whole 360-degree view, as you said.
Exactly. So it doesn't give any loophole at all, and in fact, it will cover every single aspect of a particular university, and then it is having an offering for everything, right? And then on top of it, it is open for integration touch points.
And now, from this education cloud, as a student stand, everything is fine.
Yeah.
As a university stand, as a chancellor, they want some analytics,
Yeah.
which is something like what the student performance comparatively for this semester to the next semester,
Hmm.
or how the student attendance is. Is this bar progressing consecutively? It is lying down. They want to know this analytics. Is there any analytics feature in this education cloud?
Absolutely. So one of the prominent features, I would say, since Education Cloud has so much of data now, unless you present in a better way, unless you give the better insights, right?
Hmm.
You will be not knowing about the Education Cloud and its importance, right? It is not just about giving the right objects and connecting systems.
Correct.
It's about reading the objects, right? Giving a better insight out of it. That is where CRM analytics, which is a add-on feature on Education Cloud. Yes, there are so many permutation combinations. So I'll show you the one more the offerings, the additions, licenses, and all, where you will get to know. So how do you know exactly buy CRM analytics on top of Education Cloud, right?
Because
So let me get you to that particular diagram itself or the Salesforce link itself. I hope you're able to see my screen.
yes, I can.
So you can see here, this is official Salesforce website. It is talking about Education Cloud pricing. Okay, so where there are numerous editions. Okay, enterprise, unlimited, and combination of it, right? And then what do we get in each particular edition? That is information is given here, and then if you can see some more details about the CRM analytics at the down.
Yes, yes, I could.
education cloud add-on it is, right? So yeah, so it is one of those features you should be add-on in the first place. And then since education cloud has the source of the entire source of data now, it will be able to present you the beautiful insights. For management folks, it will be an amazing tool, I would say, where you will get even you must have not thought about those insights. That kind of dashboards, we can picturize.
Perfect. The analytics dashboard, actually, I've seen that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And this is like CRM analytics for education.
Yes.
So as like education cloud is specific to education industry, so the CRM analytics is for education
Specific
itself.
to education cloud.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to see those reports actually once.
Yeah. Some more points I want to mention since I have opened the screen. If you can see here, Experience Cloud for the Education Cloud, right? We talked about in the previous diagram all the portals, Alumni portal, student portal, and applicant portal, right?
Yes.
So all these portals are actually have to be built on Experience Cloud, right? And these Experience Cloud along with Education Cloud will be having a different combination altogether. They Salesforce, puts it in a different way.
Okay.
But does it mean that technically it differs? No, it technically doesn't differ anything, right? It is still a Experience Cloud, but it is attached to the Education Cloud.
Okay, got it.
Right. So again, two variations: login edition and member edition. When you talk about Experience Cloud for Education Cloud, right? So that's about the editions, I would say.
Perfect.
Right.
So for building this site, we need to have an education. I mean, just for a licensing perspective, if
Yes.
you want to accumulate it, just we need education cloud licenses. And if you want a student or alumni portals, we need experience cloud, and as well as CRM analytics for education. To an extent, it is coming, and an extra version, if you want, we need to procure extra licenses.
Absolutely.
Perfect. It's a combo.
Yes. Yes. So I'll take you back to the slides again. Just a moment. To show you some more insights about the Education Cloud. Okay. Let me know if the slides are on. Okay.
Yes.
Right. So the journey is what I showed you in terms of that use case diagram. In other words, this is what it does. Right. I'll be now moving to another slide. Right. Where I'm talking about the success of both. Right. That is where we call a success hub.
Correct.
Right. So the success of a particular university depends on two parameters. One is a successful student, a successful university. Right. So how do we enable a student to succeed in his particular career choice? Right. How do you enable technologically and digitize things for him so that his learning becomes seamless and his journey becomes seamless, right? So that is where Salesforce, the experience it gives in terms of Experience Cloud, student portal, and all the portals I mentioned, or the way it handles student record in a structured fashion where everything is seamless, right from connections to the courses till the faculty to the last mile.
Yes.
Right. And then everything is so connected and they're shown on the portal. And whatever information it is shown on the portal. Right. So that is where your learner success takes importance. Right. At the same time, institution success. What does it mean? So down the line, you will get so much of student record information, and then you will get beautiful insight out of it, and you'll also know where are you lacking, right? And then where are you making good progress? Where are those lacunas where I want to really give importance and then overcome about that, right? So that is where your that is where your institution success comes into picture. And then one student is gone, is alumni, right? And then alumni engagement is also one more way of a success parameter, one more layer of success parameter for the institution, not for the student.
Okay.
Right? So that a student can give back, who is passed out, give back to the education university. Right? So this diagram is more of that engagement, putting everything in the nutshell.
Got it. Got it.
Right? So yeah, this is one of those features, that the slides where that was talking about the various modules, the attendance, teachers, student, course management, curriculum management, right? And then assignments, batch scheduling, and whatnot. You can go to any n number layers for that matter, right? So
Got it.
those are all things captured here. And then as I talked about CRM analytics piece,
Yes.
so that's how it is placed by Salesforce, giving you combo what you called, right? That's how it is placed. And then mobile app, a seamless mobile app given by Salesforce itself, or if you want to customize in other ways also in SDK route also you can go. Yeah, yeah.
And it, yeah, and in fact, thank you so much, Raghu. Like it's like I got a clear understanding of it. Suppose if I want to get a hands-on on it, is Salesforce providing any trial for it, like with the basic functionalities?
Yeah, so for most of the industries now, Salesforce is giving you 30 days a free trial.
Okay.
Okay, if you want to get your hands dirty and then play around with all the features given by Salesforce, you can enroll directly going to the Salesforce industry site, Salesforce
Okay.
site, where you will get industry clouds.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
where you have to go, and then you have to bring in all of the necessary login information or the application information, and then fill it, then up and running. So
Okay.
that'll be something for next 30 days. Explore, deep dive.
In fact, I want to get back to you. Like let me get my hands dirty with the education cloud segments because it's so curious. Like the whatever we have done in our college time, if everything is getting documented, that too in a single framework around the student 360, then I'll come back to you for sure with the next set of questions. In fact, I love to continue this conversation, but we need to respect the time as well as we planned it for 1 hour. I can allow the forum for questions like people who are attending online now. If you have any questions to our architect Raghuprasad, please post it in the chat. We are having 5 minutes for a quick Q&A. I know this is a bit abrupt because you're totally involved in Raghu's conversation, but still we have to respect time. That's the reason. By the time you kept your questions, in fact, Raghu, we done a basic survey before having this webinar itself. Like we asked a couple of our Salesforce people to have some questions. Like, what are the questions they do have in this education sector? What they were asking was, a couple of them you already clarified it, especially on this batching. How do we segregate the students into sections, and each section would be assigned to their tests, their assignments are different, their marks are different. How the education cloud is handling that?
So for that matter, you might have to understand the data model for that.
Hmm.
Right. So let me share my screen to show you the data model, some of the links where we talk about those parameters. So let me share my screen back. Yep. So you should be seeing this particular.
Meanwhile, you can keep your questions in the chat.
Yeah. So I guess now you're able to see my screen.
Yes, yes.
If you just go to this particular link, right? So maybe we'll also post this links, post this session so that people can get benefited out of this. So if you go to the data model, execution data model, where you will find all of the objects, right? For example, the overview data model, and then recruitment admissions data model, student success data model, and appointment scheduling data model, right? So all of this data model architectures will give you that answer where how exactly a student enrolling to a particular class, a course, and then how that course is structured in batches and then program wise, right? Even if you want to get a timetable feature to that, and then integrate with your LMS, that is also
Yes.
possible, right?
Okay.
And then from there, if you want to do, for example, let's say you are waking up in the morning, you don't know what's your timetable. You just need to get into your mobile, open your the mobile application for which is given to you, student portal, then just see today's schedule. Click of a button, you know that okay, this is the time I have my lab at 12 o'clock. I have my a mechanical class where I need to do the lathing, right, at 4 o'clock, right? So the attire will be different.
Correct.
Right?
But by any chance, is it giving the same thing to parent as well? They could also able to see.
Yeah, so yeah, that's again a custom version. So if at all you want to put every information link back to your parents, that we can customize.
Oh God, the student can't bunk classes. Parents will also be noted.
Yeah, the attendance part of it, the IA marks part of it, the examination some marks part of it, everything can be related back to your parents. Thank God it was not there for us, but again,
Correct, right? We are a bit lucky.
yeah.
Awesome. Raghu, I've got a question from the audience. Okay. The first one is, in fact, a lengthy question. How does Experience Cloud handle the management of high memory consumption when dealing with large files such as PDFs within customer experiences? Any strategies for optimizing memory use in these scenarios? Large files. Yeah.
Yes. See, Salesforce, by its essence, always has storage divided into two pieces. One is your file storage, one is your object data storage. That is the one of the primary information which every developer will know, right? So if you look at that, again, how exactly the allocation of memory is linked, it is always linked with the number of users in your org and the addition, right? There are so many parameters to it, right? And then again, there are ways to buy more space to it as well, right? And then there's something called Salesforce backup now. If you have read latest news about Salesforce,
Okay.
Salesforce backup is one such feature where it can take the backup of records and free up the memory. But again, for the backup, you may have to pay for it.
Okay.
But coming back to the question, if you end up putting a lot of information on the Experience Cloud, right? It has its own limitations in terms of MBs, how much you can upload and all, right? Those anyways you can put it as a the information symbol where or validation and all, we can do that. But still, if the more students are there, if you want to put everything into your org, right, at one point it clocks, right? So that is where you must be having some solution for putting the storage, I mean the files in somewhere, right? One interesting ways we have implemented in some of the projects we work for some clients, where we have put everything into storage a solution, for example NetSuite or OneDrive or any of the cloud storage also, right?
Yes.
Where the complete centralized repository is there, right? You will push everything there, but get the link of that particular file, right, into Salesforce, so that how to grab it. The moment you click on the link, you get the file back to your system, so that you make your experience cloud may not be made lightweight. You must be uploading many things, but once it is passed to Salesforce, that is where it becomes heavy. Now if you want to make this lightweight, you may have to go for other options.
Okay. Got it.
One of the ways to do this.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you so
I
much.
guess I've answered the question.
Yes, yes. Now the chat is bombarding with questions. Let me take as many as possible in the time. The next question is, Raghu, what are all the ways to do user authentication in mobile app?
The standard authentication goes as is. The way, for example, one of the implementations what we had, where they wanted to have even the mobile the OTP based authentication as well, not just from your this one
Single sign on.
single sign,
Yeah.
right? That way also we can do. And then if you want it to be a specific range and all, and again, Experience Cloud comes with its own profile, for that matter. If you look at that, if you want to give a Experience Cloud user license, I mean log into a particular Experience Cloud, it is again driven by a profile, right? A user essentially will be having a profile. A profile will be having its own login access authentication modules that will be all followed for a particular user.
Okay.
Right? And then if you talk about, as we know, the authentication modules, login ways for a Salesforce user, there are many ways, right?
Got it.
Yeah.
And like we do, I heard, I mean, some of the projects it's like Google Firebase, they use it for this encryption purpose, and they're capturing the details.
Exactly.
Yeah. There is also
One of the ways. Yes. Yes.
got it. Okay. Okay. Next question. Education Cloud is a Salesforce product or is it an acquisition product? MP script is used in Education Cloud or any other snippet. Okay. Education Cloud is a Salesforce product in-house or it is an acquisition.
Okay. I mean, for me, it doesn't matter as long as it's an object in Salesforce. But again, for the sake of answering, so I don't think it is a a product which is bought the way other clouds are brought. Education cloud, maybe it was EDA before, right?
Yes.
So that is the evolution of and then K-12, that is where it started altogether, right?
Correct.
So they wanted to address the problem of K-12, address the problem of the universities, but in silos, and there was no insight or given more stress on industry. So, and it was always a package download, right?
Correct.
Before March this year,
Correct.
right? Where if you want to go for education cloud objects or EDA, education data architecture objects, you have to go for the installation of a managed package and then get the objects download for you, right? For now, uh, maybe the EDA evolution is done by somebody else, I'm not sure. Okay, but EDA started from there, and then that is where education cloud, the starting point for education cloud. Now, since it is packaged in a way to cater the needs of a particular industry specifically, that is where it has become an industry cloud now.
Got it.
Right? Yeah.
Earlier it used to be a package. Now it became a total cloud, right?
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes. Got it. Thank you so much. Now we are exactly on time. I don't want to cross the time. Let's respect the time. People who are having other questions, I'm so sorry, but we could answer it. Raghu is available. You can ping him in LinkedIn, or you can post the questions. Raghu will get back to you on that for sure. So before winding it up, I would like to say a big thank to you, Raghu, for giving it a good glimpse, like starting from an applicant to an alumni. What are the happenings in the student, 360-degree view of it, the faculty management, and how is it a value addition for the universities? You gave us a good glimpse about the total idea of it. Thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure, I would say.
Thanks a lot. And viewers, thanks a lot for joining today. And I strongly believe you got a good glimpse about Education Cloud. And next session, as per our commitment, Cloud Odyssey will come up with the next webinar on another interesting and the engaging cloud, which may be non-profit, which may be manufacturing, which may be automotive, which may be consumer goods as well. We will come to that with another architect. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you all. Yes. Before that, what is your I would like to ask you, Raghu, before that, what is your ending note on this Education Cloud?
So see, education cloud, the word itself says, what are all of the objects necessary for a university to run? It is all already having it. So only thing now is, it keeps on growing. It becomes a one-stop solution. It's already one, right? And it will keep on progressing. And then you'll find it very interesting in the coming days, because of so many features being added each passing quarter, each passing release, right? It'll be flooded with interesting features. And then I'm sure since Salesforce is already market leader, right? And then in the CRM space, and now it is acquiring its space in all the industries now, right? So with that said, education industry and the education cloud will be an amazing combo.
Awesome.
Okay, so with that said, education cloud, you'll find it very hard to ignore.
No, we won't ignore ever. After knowing this, never.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's my take on the education cloud.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Raghu. Thank you so much, people. Thanks for joining in. We'll catch up next month on next webinar. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.